Hey everyone, welcome back to our programming series. Today we will solve the LeetCode problem, which is single number problem, and we will solve it using TypeScript. So what exactly is the single number problem? Well, imagine you have an array of integers where every element appears twice except for one. Your task is to find that single element that appears only once. Let's consider an example. Suppose we have this list of integers. You can see that 2 has occurred twice, so we will ignore it, and 1 is only occurred once, so we have to return 1 as the output. Similarly, in the example number 2, both the number 1 and 2 appears twice, and 4 only has appeared once, so we will return 4. Same in example number 3, 1 is occurred once, so we will return 1. Let's dive into the code. We are given with a single number function that receives a list of integers and it returns a number. This number will be the digit that only appears once. Okay, so let's start coding. First, I will declare a set to store unique numbers. Constant set is equal to new set of type number. That's it. Next, I will declare a for loop for each loop basically that will iterate over each number in the input array nums. I have to iterate over this array or this list, so I will use nums dot for each. It takes a single element or a single character from the nums and returns it. Let's return. We will use double arrow function. Next, we will check if the set already contains the current number num. If it does, we will remove the num from the set. Let's check if set dot has num, then we will set dot delete num. Next, we will check if it does not contains the number, then we will add that specific number in the set. Else set dot add num. Okay, this if condition is checking if the set already contains the current number num. If it does, removes num from the set, indicating it is not longer unique. Otherwise, add num to the set, indicating it is a unique number. After this, we have to return the value that is in the set. Here I will put a semicolon. Next, we will return set dot values dot next dot value. Let me explain the line. In JavaScript and TypeScript, the set objects represent a collection of unique values. So when we want to access the values stored in the set, we typically need to convert into an iterable object. Now I will break down this line for you. The first set refers to the set we have initialized over this variable refers to the object of the set we have declared. The values, this method returns an iterator object that contains the values of the set in insertion order. It allows us to loop over the values stored in the set. Next, we have this function. The next method of the iterator object returns an object with the two properties basically. One is value, the value of the current element in the iteration, and another one is done, a boolean indicating whether the iterator has reached the end of the set or not. So in conclusion, this expression retrieves the value of the first element in the iteration of the set. It does this by obtaining the iterator object using set.values, then calling next to move the first element of the iteration, and finally assessing the value property of the object returned by next to get the value of the first element. I hope that is clear. Now let's run the code and see what happens. Okay. Our case 1 is accepted, case 2 is also accepted, and case 3 is also accepted. So now we can finally submit the code. You can use XOR operator. Next, we will discuss another approach to solve the same problem by using XOR operator or exclusive OR operator. The exclusive OR operator provides a more elegant and efficient solution compared to using a hash set for the single number problem. Here is why. First of all, it takes a constant space. Using XOR, we can achieve a solution with constant extra space, which means we do not need to allocate additional memory proportion to the size of the input array. This is crucial for optimizing space complexity, especially for large arrays. And in our case, we do not want to occupy extra space. So next, linear runtime complexity. The XOR operator allows us to find the single number in linear time complexity, which is O of n, where n is the number of elements in the array. This makes it highly efficient, especially for large data sets. The XOR operator is a bitwise operator that compares two bits and returns 1 if they are different and 0 if they are same. If we consider an example, this is a 1 bit and this is 1 bit, the result will be 0 if we perform an XOR operation between them. If the bits are different, it returns 1, and the same in this case, the bits are different, so it will return 1. Here bits are same, so it will return 0. Next, for solving this problem, what is happening in the background? Okay, for that I will consider a table which will be decimal binary table. You know that decimals in binary changes from 0 to 7, means they are total of 8, which is also 2 raised to power 3 is equal to 8. So this is a decimal binary table. This is the representation of 0 in decimal with 3 zeros, and the decimal representation of 1 is this. So this is basic decimal binary table. Next, we want to perform XOR operation and see how the so let's see how we can find the number that has only occurred single or one time. Let's consider an example. If we take 2 to 1, what will be our approach? First, we will use a variable which will be of let's name it result. Okay, then we will XOR it with the input from this array. First of all, it will be performed by 1. Its result will be stored in our result variable. Next, we will also do the same, but here will be the next element, which is 2. Okay, which is 2. Let's see how it happens. If we consider an example over here, first we have 2. What is the decimal representation of 2? You can see the decimal representation of 2 is 0, 1, 0. So we will write 0, 1, 0. Next, in the result, first of all, there is nothing. I have initialized result variable with 0. So if we take the decimal representation of 0 is 000, you can see over here. This is the okay. So if we take 0, 0, 0, next we have to perform XOR operation. If we look back in the table, if the bits are same, it returns 0, and if the bits are different, it returns 1. So let's perform this XOR operation. If the bits are same, it returns 0. If the bits are different, it returns 1. So if the bits are same, it returns 0. So 0, 1, 0 is equal to this one 2. So in result variable, 2 will be stored. 2 will be stored in result variable. Okay. Next time when we perform XOR operation between the result variable and our next element is also 2. Let's see how we can do that. We have a decimal representation of 2, 0, 1, 0, and the decimal representation of 2 is 0, 1, 0. So if the bits are same, what it returns 0. If the bits are same, it returns 0. Also, if the bits are same, it returns 0. So it results in the 0. Okay, next. Now 0 will be stored in the result variable. Next. So our last element is remaining 1. Let's do that also. Okay. If we perform XOR operation between 0 and 1, the decimal representation of 0 is 000 and the decimal representation of 1 is 001. Let's perform a XOR operation between them. 0, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 1. If the bits are different, it returns 1, and same, it will return 0. Let's see what is the it is equal to 1. So if we go back to the in the list, and our task was to find the number that is only occurred once, so we have 1 remaining in the list. I hope that is clear to you. Let's consider an example, which is this one. It is 0, it is 1. So in the result variable, what we have 0, and we want to perform an operation with this. Let's solve this. So it will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. If we perform a XOR operation between them, it will result in 0, 0, 1, which is again equal to 1. So 1 is the unique number in our result variable, and this will be stored. So this is the basic approach we will be using in our code. So let's go into the code section and write some code. First, I will hide this so you can see the code section. Next, I will comment this code. Okay. First, I will initialize a variable result. Let result is equal to 0. After this, I will declare a loop that will start a loop that iterates over each number num in the input array nums. For let num in nums, this nums is this array that is coming as an argument, and this will be a single character that will be extracted from this nums, and the for loop will return this. Next, I will perform the XOR operation with the result variable. In programming, the operator used for XOR operation is the raise to power button. I guess this is the name for it. And we want to perform the XOR operation between the result variable and this variable that will be a single character or a single digit from the list number. First, it will give me the first element, next the next element, in the next iteration it will give me the next element. Okay, so with the num variable. Okay, next I will return the single number that will be found after XORing all the numbers in the array or the list. Let me see what is happening here. Return result. Let's see what is the error. I think we have to define the type. Okay, not the type. Num in nums. But if we result I am encountering this error because I am trying to perform a bitwise, which is XOR operation between a string and a number. As you know, in TypeScript, when you use a foreign loop over an object, the loop variable num, in this case, will be a string representing the keys of the object, not the value. To fix this issue, we can use a for off loop instead of a for in loop. Let's fix this code. This will be for off. Okay. Now let's run the code again. Okay, so that is done. Our cases are accepted. So here is a short summary. We have explored how to solve the single number problem using a hash set and a XOR operator in TypeScript. The approach of using a hash set is not preferable in this case because we have a constraint over here that you only have to use constant space, but as you know that hash set takes the value, take the space according to the number of input that will be coming inside the or putting inside the hash set, and we will be removing from the hash set. So the complexity, time complexity of set is O of n, which is not a constant extra space, but the complexity of using a XOR operator is O of 1. So the approach with the XOR operator is more preferable.